This is the Ears Up English podcast. English that grows with you. Welcome to Ears Up English, where your listening becomes stronger and your speaking becomes smoother. If English still feels scary or stressful for you, don't worry. We're here to help you enjoy English without fear. Strong ears, strong English. Now, let's begin today's episode.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle.
And I'm Robert. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey Robert, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Michelle. Recently, I've been reading a lot about how different countries support parents after they have a baby. One topic that came up again and again was parental leave.
Yes, parental leave means time you can take off from work after having a baby. It's a simple idea, but every country has its own rules and style.
Exactly. And your friend in Japan just had a baby, right?
Yes, and she told me something interesting. She said, people always say Japan's leave is long, but is that the whole story? That made me curious. So today we're going to talk about Japan and other countries and how different cultures support families when a new baby arrives.
Right. If you only look at the numbers like 12 months or 6 months, it seems simple. But when you look at how people actually use the system, the situation becomes more complex.
And speaking of vocabulary, when we say the situation becomes more complex, we mean the picture, the whole situation, has many parts. Sometimes English speakers say the picture is complicated, but here, picture does not mean a real picture. It means the overall situation.
That's a good explanation. And today we have one key phrase, one single phrase that can help our listeners talk about this topic in English. The phrase is, every country has pros and cons.
And let me explain that phrase clearly. Pros and cons means good points and difficult points. So when we say every country has pros and cons, we mean every country has good sides and bad sides.
Perfect. It's simple, and you can use it in almost any conversation that compares cultures or systems. So we'll return to this phrase many times today.
All right, let's start with Japan. On paper, Japan has one of the longest parental leave systems in the world. Parents can take many months off, and financial support is included. If you only listen to the numbers, it sounds wonderful.
But numbers don't show the whole situation. And here's where reality enters the story. Many parents in Japan, especially fathers, feel it is difficult to take long leave, not because of the law, but because of how people in the workplace might react.
Exactly. And this is why many people in Japan say, even though the system is generous, I don't feel comfortable using it. This is where culture becomes more important than rules.
And here's a common sentence I hear from Japanese friends. I don't want to make trouble for my team. Or, no father in my office has taken long leave before. I don't want to be the first. None of these thoughts are written in any rule book, but they live in the workplace.
And this is why I want to repeat something very important. Work culture affects everything. Not the law, not the numbers, the culture.
So let's compare this with Scandinavia. Countries like Sweden, Norway, and Finland have very long leave and high financial support. But the biggest difference is not the number, it's the everyday life.
Yes, in Scandinavia, it's completely normal for fathers to take many months off. People don't say, that's strange. They say, that's good. Enjoy your time with your child.
And that idea comes from history. For many decades, both men and women have worked in the Scandinavian workforce. Parenting naturally became a shared responsibility, and governments built systems to support that idea.
And this connects to today's key phrase again. Every country has pros and cons. Scandinavia has a strong system, but taxes are high, and the system depends on that.
Now, let's jump to the United States, because the US is very different again.
Yes, the US does not have national paid parental leave. It surprises many people in Japan when I say that. Some companies offer paid leave, but not all. Some parents return to work in just a few weeks.
But again, that doesn't mean Americans don't care about family. Instead, they use different kinds of support. Grandparents, babysitters, daycare, flexible work-from-home jobs, and sometimes community support.
Right. For example, in the US, people often say things like, "My mom will come stay with us for 2 months," or "We're hiring a nanny 3 days a week." It's a different lifestyle.
And if we jump to Europe, the situation becomes even more varied.
Yes, France has extremely strong public childcare. Many children enter daycare early, and it's normal for parents to return to work soon.
But in the UK, childcare costs can be so high that parents struggle to decide who should work and who should stay home.
In Germany, historically had a strong stay-at-home mother culture, but in recent decades it has shifted. More fathers take leave, and flexible leave plans have become more common.
And in South Korea is very similar to Japan. On paper, leave is long, but many fathers still feel pressure not to use it. Meanwhile, Singapore has many helpers or nanny systems, which changes how families balance work and childcare.
And again, every country has pros and cons.
Now, before we jump into today's dialogue, let's explain to our listeners how they can use today's key phrase when talking about parental leave or family culture.
You can say something like, "In my country, the system has good points and difficult points. Every country has pros and cons." Or, "In your country, you do this, and in my country, we do that." Every country has pros and cons.
Simple, gentle, and very natural English.
And now, let's listen to today's dialogue.
Hey, Kaori, I heard Japan's parental leave is really long compared to other countries. Is that true?
Yeah, the system is long, but whether you can actually use it depends on your workplace.
It's totally different from the US. The US is short, but families help each other a lot.
Right. Every country has pros and cons.
And in Sweden, it's super long because the whole society supports families, right?
Exactly. Every country has pros and cons. It just looks different in each place.
So you can't just compare by the length.
Right. You need to look at the whole situation.
I like that dialogue. It shows that you don't need difficult words to talk about culture. They're just sharing simple ideas, and the phrase, "every country has pros and cons," helps keep the conversation balanced and friendly.
Exactly. And when you talk about sensitive topics like parenting, work, or culture, using that phrase shows respect. It shows that you understand there is no perfect country, and it makes the other person feel safe to share their opinion.
Now, I want to talk a bit more about returning to work, because this part really changes the meaning of leave.
In Japan, many parents return to full-time work with long hours, long commutes, and strict schedules. Daycare pickup times can be stressful.
In Scandinavia, parents often work shorter hours, like finishing at 4 p.m., and it's normal to spend afternoons with their children.
In the US, there's often more flexibility. Remote work, part-time work, changing jobs, but childcare can be expensive.
And in Singapore or Hong Kong, live-in helpers change the daily rhythm completely.
And again, every country has pros and cons.
Before we finish today, let's listen to the dialogue one more time.
Hey, Kaori, I heard Japan's parental leave is really long compared to other countries. Is that true?
Yeah, the system is long, but whether you can actually use it depends on your workplace.
It's totally different from the US. The US is short, but families help each other a lot.
Right. Every country has pros and cons.
And in Sweden, it's super long because the whole society supports families, right?
Exactly. Every country has pros and cons. It just looks different in each place.
So you can't just compare by the length.
Right. You need to look at the whole situation.
Focus on the rhythm of the phrase.
All right, let's listen again.
I think that second listen makes it clearer. The phrase helps you express a balanced opinion without sounding negative.
Exactly. And it shows that simple English can still express big ideas.
Let's quickly summarize. Number 1, parental leave means time off after having a baby. Number 2, culture and system are different. Number 3, every country supports families in different ways. And number 4, every country has pros and cons.
All right, everyone. That's today's episode of Ears Up English. Strong ears, strong English. Keep training your ears every day. Try the phrase from today's episode and see how it changes your conversations. We'd love to hear how it works for you. Join us again next time for more friendly, everyday English. Take care and keep your ears up.